We got Kait Peterson from Locus Robotics joining us here in the booth. Kait, how are you? We're
Good.
live on LinkedIn right now, so
Awesome.
say hello. You can say hello right here.
Sweet.
Uh, so how are you? How you doing? Thanks for coming by the booth.
I am good. It's crazy busy here this week. It's amazing to see how many people are
Yeah,
here.
yeah. And we're only day 2, right? So
I know. I woke up this morning thinking it was already Thursday, and it's not.
maybe wishing it was Thursday.
No,
Craziness,
not quite,
madness.
because I'm
Yeah,
having a lot of fun seeing all the
yeah.
people and technology and just awesome conversations this week. So
Yeah, definitely. So,
yeah.
give us like a little brief overview of Locus for people. I don't know who doesn't know about Locus, but for people maybe that don't know about Locus.
Yeah, so Locus is a leading AMR provider. So we have a fleet of different types of robots that do all kinds of fulfillment operations and use cases in your warehouse. Everything from picking, put away, pallet transport, case picking. That really eliminates the pressure on people within the warehouse.
Okay.
So reducing walking miles, all kinds of safety things, and doubling and tripling your productivity in terms of throughput to your warehouse.
Yeah, and I think it's a great solution. And I've had you guys on the podcast multiple times. I've been up there to play around with the Locust bot as well. And I think it's really great how seeing you guys expanding to with the acquisition of Waypoint. And now I think the latest is this partnership with Berkshire Gray, right?
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about that, because we haven't talked about that on the podcast yet.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so as you mentioned with the Waypoint acquisition in 2021, we have fully integrated those bots into our software stack. We
Okay.
actually announced yesterday the launch of Locus One,
Okay.
which is our industry first data platform on which we run all of our bots. And what that's enabled us to do is partner with companies like Berkshire Gray.
Yeah.
So the partnership that we announced is under Project Gray Wolf. We are integrated with their robotic put wall. So we basically have a origin or a vector robot that's on the Locus One platform,
Right.
do batch picking, and that batch pick comes up to the induction station at the robotic put wall. The operator pulls all of the items into the put wall. It's sorted into the orders, and then we have a vector or an origin bot take those completed orders to pack out. So it's a complete end-to-end solution.
Right.
And that can reduce labor requirements by up to 60%. You can really see UPH of over 600 per hour. So
Nice.
by pulling both robotic
Yeah.
solutions together, it's really starting the trend on interoperability
Yeah.
and an ecosystem within the warehouse, which we haven't really seen as much, coming up. So we're the first in the industry to be able to say that we've done that.
Yeah, and I think that's a great thing. I mean, I think interoperability, especially as we look at ProMat here. I mean,
Yeah.
like how many robotics or automation solutions are here, right? So, obviously you're going to end up with operations that are trying to, put one solution and then another solution. So it's really important to have that interoperability. So talk to us a little bit about, the importance for Locus on having that interoperability and being able to create these like great partnerships with other automation solutions.
Yeah, we've seen a shift in the industry. I was talking to some people recently this morning. 2019 ProMat was very different. You had Automate on one side, you had ProMat on the other side, and you had these massive fixed automation builds with auto baggers and these huge installations, right? And this year, what you're really seeing is tons of point solutions for AMRs, for robotics, whether it's autonomous forklifts or AMRs or goods to person solutions. And what you're seeing in the market now is these individual use case solutions, right?
Right.
And the future of the warehouse, you can't just install one and then install another and then install another. You really have to look at how do these systems play with each other. They have to play nice.
Yeah.
They have to be able to share the data so that on the back end as an operator, you can say, I know exactly what's going on in my warehouse. I know product the minute it hits the dock door as it's coming in to the minute it's heading a parcel truck on the way out.
Right.
And you can see all that data, because without the data, you don't know where your bottlenecks are happening. You don't know where you need to put people or different technology. So at Locus, the software to be able to enable that interoperability is really key. And I think it's going to be the future of the industry in terms of being able to put those solutions together and not just in a line, but like I was explaining with Berkshire Gray, Locus, Berkshire Gray, Locus, and that's just one stream of
It's
operation.
like a little Locus sandwich, right?
Yeah. It's like a bunch of little puzzle pieces, but they have to fit together, right?
Yeah, and I think it's so great because, like you said, having that data in between and having that visibility is certainly such a great thing. And I think the more that I talk to people lately, like having this visibility into their operations and their supply chain, having increased visibility is something that's certainly in demand. So in that regard, I mean, as you've gone through one day here at the Locus booth, and I walked by there, you guys are certainly like packed, right? So what are attendees coming? What are they kind of asking for? What are they looking for?
They're really looking to solve a few challenges that we've seen in the industry, primarily brought on by the pandemic, but I also think just a shift in the way people work these days. So number one is labor.
Yeah.
It's hard to find, it's expensive. People often don't necessarily want to or are able to work in warehouses. So we have tons of customers and tons of people coming to us. I have 25 picker jobs open and I haven't been able to fill them, right? Or I have a peak season and I just can't hire enough temp workers. So number one is labor. So how do you reduce that requirement of labor and also retain the people that you have on staff? So they're not hopping to the next warehouse that's paying 50 cents more for the hour, but they're really wanting to work with you. So that's, I think, the number one challenge that we're seeing. And then I think number two is how do you get more out of your current resources? There's a lot of shifting in the economic uncertainty. How do you really get more from your warehouse and your workforce and your technology without having to pay $20 million in capex for a complete automated solution, right? I think the next one is really volatility. We've seen so many peaks and valleys and contractions and explosions, like items going viral. Like if somebody has a product on TikTok and you can't, you can't fulfill it. So being able to handle those ups and downs. So I think those are three of the really big challenges that people are coming to us and they're saying, I just need to get more out of my warehouse with the resources that I have, and I need to keep the people that I have doing what they are doing best. And I think there's a couple of shifts on the human side is the way people work is changing. Right? 10 years ago, you'd go through your warehouse, you'd have your paper pick list. You go down with a I know, I see you cringe. Paper pick list with a cart, and you're walking, 12 miles a day, pulling and pushing a cart. It's getting heavier and heavier and heavier. And people just don't want to do that anymore, right? We have a lot more. We have an aging workforce that can't do it physically. We have a younger workforce that wants to work with things like technology. So having robotic solutions like Locus with an iPad that's really easy to learn in less than 15 minutes, and then also reduces your walking time and your lifting and pushing, really extends and makes people happier and actually make it more of a viable career option.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's a great thing that you're able to address that because, I mean, like you said, it's people, they don't really necessarily want to do that work. It's tough to fill those positions when you're just doing the repetitive tasks all the time, and you guys are able to bring these solutions and kind of offset that, but also I think like make it fun too as well. So I'm curious if people are discovering you here at the show. I mean, I know all about the fun of Locus already, but what are some of the like surprises maybe that people are coming to the booth and they're like maybe interacting with the Locus bot for the first time? I mean, what are some of like the top things like they say like, oh, I can't believe that it can do this?
It's funny how similar the reactions are, right? So when people first start interacting with robots or they think of robots, they're you have that dystopian future idea of it's going to take my job, it's going to run into me or something like that. But really, we've had a universal experience in terms of the robots are now people's friend, right? They won't run into you. They'll do a little dance around you to, if you're standing in place. They're really easy to work with. Like I said, they have an iPad, so anybody can learn how to do picking or put away or any sort of task with the robot within 15 minutes, right? So the stress level comes down because everybody knows how to operate an iPad and an iPhone. We all have them. So it creates a more relaxed environment. I was telling another customer just maybe 30 minutes ago when I was at a customer site for holiday peak. We had teams that were utilizing the gamification that we have on Locus. So each operator has a Bluetooth tag. So you go up to the bot. It's in their native language. So if you have Spanish or Polish or Japanese, the training time goes down and you can interact in your language that's most comfortable. You can keep track of how people are doing. And so at the customer that I was at the end of every shift, they'd be like, shift A had this record that we beat, and these are the pickers that did a great job, and we're ordering pizza for this team, and they had boom boxes of music going. So people just have a lot of fun working with the technology and getting their job done.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a great thing too, because like you want to create that culture. You know, like speaking as a former warehouse manager, like you want to be able to have a culture that's fun, but also is, you know, driving production at the end of the day. Right. And, you know, you don't want to be that one, you know, cracking the whip or whatever. Like, but, you know, the fact that you're able to enable that, because I think sometimes like managers, you know, they try to figure out how can they do that, but it's hard to do it without a tool that can, like, you know, enable you and give you some guidance on how to do that. So the fact that you guys are able to gamify that and really, you know, give that kind of data insight and give like those great dashboards that you have to be able to show those things, I think really not only it empowers the worker to be more comfortable and work well, but it also empowers now the managers
100%.
too, and the supervisors to say, like, so now they can go and say, like, you know, oh, like, great job today, or, you know, let's recognize, like you said, shift A, like, you know, beat shift B, and then, like, who's it going to be tomorrow, you know, all that kind of thing. And you know, it's great because you're also getting like that real-time data too, whereas, you know, in the past, like, you might have said, like, I don't really know what the productivity was until, like, the next day, or maybe like the end of the week, right, or something like that. So
yeah, the cool thing is on the Locus One platform, we have these dashboards, and they're all real time, all data driven by the locations of the bots, the pickers, the people in the warehouse. It even predicts kind of where your next flow of orders is going to come from. So for example, if you have a product drop and you know that there's going to be a product drop or a sale on a particular item, and it's located in a certain area of the warehouse, you can say, I need 10 extra pickers and I'm going to put them in this zone so we can get these orders out faster, right? So you can even use it as a predictive tool, not just as a look back, but also look forward. So you're not scrambling trying to get people to zone, you know, C when, you know that those orders are coming in. You can pre-plan, make sure people have taken their breaks, had their lunch, you know, and are ready to go there. So data is such a cool way to enable people to, you know, optimize their business, have more fun, you know, and make it just a better work experience.
Yeah, definitely. And you heard that at home, kids. Data is cool.
Data is cool, right? Data.
Definitely. So Kait, thank you so much for coming by the booth. Obviously you guys are here. And what's your booth number? It's a big booth.
But, I don't think you can miss it, but we're at S2303. We have an entire demo floor, a mock warehouse where you can actually pick, do put away. We have all three of our robots there. We have customer presentations. So we have DHL, UPS. We just announced ABB Optical this morning.
Oh, nice.
We have tons of customer presentations, so people can actually learn from our customers directly from them. All of our bots are there. We have over 100 Locus team members ready to help and talk about the solutions. So come by and see us.
Definitely. So if you're here, go check them out. And how many picks are you guys at now?
We hit over 1.5 billion picks on Friday. So we're at a nice clip. The interesting stat though is we hit 1 billion in September.
Just recently,
and we're already at 1.5. So we're doing several million picks with our solution a day. And you multiply that by the number of items, and it's off the charts, right? So
madness.
It's really cool because I even am a customer sometimes to our customers, and I'll go online and I'll buy something. I'll be like, I know that a Locus bot was part of fulfilling that order for me.
Count that one. Very cool. And if people are at home and couldn't make it to ProMat, how can they find out more about Locus?
www.locusrobotics.com. Also on our LinkedIn page, we have a YouTube page with all of our videos, Twitter, Instagram, all of it. So locusrobotics.com.
All right, Kait, thank you so much for coming by the booth here on ProMat Day 2 and joining us on the New Warehouse Live podcast here.
Awesome.
So thank you very much, Kait.
Thank you so much, Kevin.
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.